Welcome to tennis.com.au's 2010 Wimbledon preview. Today we're going to take a look at the men's side of the draw, and if anything can emulate the magnificent final we had last year between Roger Federer and Andy Roddick, we are set for a couple of magical weeks at the All England Club. Brett Phillips alongside Craig Morris. Great to see you, Craig, and we've been boosted certainly from an Australian perspective this week with the great performance of Lleyton Hewitt beating Roger Federer, who'd had the wood on Hewitt in the last 15 meetings going into Wimbledon, where he performed so well against Andy Roddick last week. So a real boost, certainly for Australia's chances on the men's side. Oh,
look, absolutely. Lleyton winning a title now and obviously getting over Roger Federer, who's owned grass court tennis for so many years. It's very exciting for Lleyton. You have a lot of confidence going into Wimbledon 2010, and on the back of his quarter-final loss to Roddick last year, and Roddick obviously going on and playing that great final, as you alluded to, in the final against Federer, Lleyton, I'm sure he's rubbing his hands together right now for Monday.
In a sense, Craig, he went out third round of the French Open. That allowed him to get to the All England Club, where he is a life member and he can get on the courts there and practice on the grass. And going to Halle in Germany, it might really do him a favour.
Yeah, look, he grows another leg when he gets on the grass. I think it's obviously a 2002 champion. He loves going back there, and I think the grass court really suits him. He's been a grass court player and he's grown up on grass courts, which is an advantage I think Australian athletes do have. It's not foreign to them, and I know Lleyton really enjoys it and obviously can't wait for these 2 or 3 weeks.
Peter Luchak, it's a great story. Luch getting into his first Wimbledon draw. His ranking has allowed him to qualify. He's playing this week in the Netherlands in the lead-up. He hasn't been in the best of form, Luch, but we know he's such a great competitor, a guy that will give his absolute all and push a lot of the top players. So good news for him. It's at 30 years of age, a little bit of icing on the cake of his career to actually play at Wimbledon.
Yeah, it is, Brett. I mean, I was surprised to see Pete's been around for so long that he's actually never played at Wimbledon main draw. So, I'm sure he'll have goosebumps when he walks out there for his first round match. And it's such a tradition, and Australian tennis, certainly we certainly put Wimbledon alongside the Australian Open as on a pedestal with our Grand Slam. So I know Pete will be very excited about that. And unfortunately ran into Lleyton last week also in Halle. So, I'm sure he's getting good practice on the grass.
A lot of Australians in qualifying this week, and we hope a few of those will progress to the main draw. And some of those players have been in really good form, and a few have got themselves into the top 200, like young Matthew Ebden. Who do you like of our chances for those to actually make it into the main draw?
Yeah, look, we've obviously a number of the boys have got off to a good start. Matt Ebden, casting ball on the grass with a left-handed serve. Big serve. I think he'll be certainly looking to be able to progress through. Bernard Tomic made the third round of qualifying last year and has got through a tight three-set match last night. So Bernard will certainly be looking at trying to break through and qualify for a Grand Slam, which he hasn't done.
Let's put your crystal ball hat on, Craig. Who do you like in the next 2 weeks? I mean, Federer really has owned the grass at Wimbledon. Rafa was able to upset him in that unbelievable final, which was played in pitch black a couple of years ago. He looks to be in better nick, Rafa, coming off winning the French in a magnificent clay court season. Djokovic, yet to prove that he can win another Grand Slam, and then it really is such an open field. Del Potro's out, Davydenko coming back, but really it's hard to go past the top two.
It is, Brett. I think, Federer obviously, having owned this title outside of obviously when Nadal knocked him out a couple of years ago, and I think not have gone through the French Open, and, he'll be very much looking forward to Wimbledon. I think Nadal's put a lot of effort into his clay court series season, and the French Open was probably his number one goal to win that. So I'll be interested to see how Nadal backs up after a heavy clay court season, obviously culminating in winning the French Open. So, I think you're right. You can't go past Roger. Lleyton has got to be thereabouts. He's one of the best returners of the game, if not the best returner, and he'll take enormous confidence having a win over Federer. I think the draw is going to be critical for Lleyton with his seeding, so be anxious about how that comes out and where he sits in the draw. And I think there'll be some anxious people not wanting to hit Lleyton early on. And Roddick, I do think, with the weapons that he has with his serve, he's always going to be tough to beat. And you're right, then you can probably throw a blanket over a number of other athletes. Tommy Berdych did well at the French. So these are the types of players. Soderling's always done pretty well at Wimbledon as well, and back on the obviously runner-up at the French. So I think that's the great thing about men's tennis at the moment. There's a little bit more unknown than what maybe there was.
There certainly is. There'll be Murray Mound operating again too, taking over from Henman Hill. That was packed last year, I can tell you. There was a lot of pressure on Andy, unfortunately, to get past Roddick in that semi-final, and heart sunk on centre court. So the pressure on Andy Murray once again. But we're hoping, wearing our Aussie hats here on tennis.com.au, that Leighton Hewitt can have an outstanding fortnight at the All England Club. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Brett. Look forward to hearing your expert commentary from over there, being fortunate enough to get there. So half your luck.
Hoping for an interview with the Queen too. She's going to be there for the first time in 33 years. Surely she'll have a chat to us.